Hey everyone, welcome back to bageltcg. Today we're going to be looking at the most recent spoilers. We got these in the last week or so. I do want to apologize for the kind of slower upload schedule. It's been a really busy last few weeks, kind of end of the semester here. I really am going to try my best to get out a tier list video soon. I know we've had these bans for like a week or two now. Honestly, I don't want to put out a tier list video until I'm confident on the tier list. And I feel like every day of testing with my team, we've been testing really hardcore every day with the Pro Tour coming up soon. And I feel like every day my tier list changes. So I haven't wanted to publish one yet because I'm honestly not confident in it. But it will hopefully be out soon. Hopefully, I'll kind of solidify it and yeah, have something like that soon. Anyways, before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to let's see, Whiptum Wizard here. Whiptum Wizard is our sponsor. You can use the affiliate link below. They have great prices on their product. Anything you want here, you'll get a nice, product, great shipping, great prices, and you'll be able to support the channel. So definitely would appreciate if you guys could do that. Also check out Patreon. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, support however you can, and I really appreciate it. I am getting the content creator kit soon. Might be in the next few days. Hopefully, I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I honestly don't know what's in it. I don't know what the promos are. I will be giving them away, probably a few directly to YouTube subscribers and then a few to my Patreons as well. So yeah, definitely appreciate all the support you guys give. Let's hop into it here. So first, we've got two new heroes. This is going to be a set with, as far as we know, 3 heroes. They might be hiding a hero from us, but so far we have 3 heroes that we know about. There's a new talent called, I believe, Draconic, and both of these heroes are Draconic. So on the left, we have Faye, I believe. Maybe it's Faye. Faye sounds nicer to me, but Faye I think would be spelled F-E-I, and this is F-A-I, so maybe it's Faye, which I guess sounds kind of like fire, so Faye I guess makes sense. So I'll say Faye. So we have Faye on the left here. He is a Draconic Ninja, and we have Dromai on the right here, and she's a Draconic Illusionist. So we have a Ninja and an Illusionist this set, Draconic for both of them. We have their Blitz decks that describe both of them and their different Draconic playstyles. It also confirms that they are both Draconic talented heroes. Faye is an aggressive synergy-based deck, is at least how it described it, and Dromai is a combo control deck. That's basically all we know. We know Dromai somehow uses some sort of like ash to build ash wings, which I guess are like some sort of dragon token that she creates. We know she is something that we know that she can summon like dragon illusion allies, so it's going to be cool to have some more allies. We know Faye probably is a little low to the ground because Stubby Hammers got banned in Blitz preemptively. They're going to be banned on the same day the set releases, so there's probably some sort of combo he's got there. Or maybe it's a combo with Dromai. Not really sure. Anyways, yeah, new talent, Draconic. We've got a Ninja and an Illusionist. We don't know much yet. We only have kind of 2 Draconic cards. We have 1 Draconic card and 1 token, one of the dragons. So let's hop into it. First, let's look at some Icelander cards. Actually, first, let's look at the star rating. I didn't go over this last time, so I did want to bring it up this time. So there's 1 through 5 stars. I just kind of wanted to explain what each one meant real quick. To me, 5 stars is only for cards that will never, ever not be in a deck, right? They're never being cut out of the deck. I think they are always in the deck, never being sideboarded out. They're just basically like always in. And I know that's a bit generalizing to say they'll never be sideboarded out, because maybe that's not always true, but for the most part, these cards are key cornerstones of this deck, and they're always going to be in, right? So, I mean, there's a lot that fits this bill. I guess like Mask of Momentum. I guess Equipment doesn't really count, right? What's a good a good card like Blood Rush Bellows, I guess, right? For Brute is like one of their 5-star cards. I don't think a Brute would almost ever take that out, and it's always a key cornerstone of their strategy. Or like Art of War for Chain is another 5-star card. So like these really major cards. 4 stars is a really, really good card that's probably going to be in the deck most of the time. And maybe some sideboarded out sometimes. Or it could be a card that's a really good sideboard, and I'll tell you if it's just a sideboard 4, and then like a main deck 2, right? Like a card that's not normally going to be in the main deck, but it's a really good sideboard card. 3 is an average card. There's like a decent chance it'll see play, but not guaranteed. So I give it like a 50-50 odds it sees play there, and it'll be like not that important to the deck if it does see play. And then 2 is that it'll see maybe fringe play, or there's a low chance it'll see play. And 1 is that I just don't think it'll ever see play, basically. Okay, now into the cards. We have Icelander's other specialization. So last time we saw Ice Eternal, now we have Frost Hex, right? This is our first look at Afflictions. This is an Affliction, so basically when you play it, it enters under an opposing hero's control. So you'll play the Affliction, and your opponent it'll enter under your opponent's control. You're giving them an Affliction. This is an Ice Wizard action. It's a blue. It's a majestic. It costs 3 and it blocks for 3. So all good things we see here. It's blue. That's great. It's a 3 block. That's great. It costs 3. That's fine. That's 1 card. So 3 or less is solid. It's ice, so it'll make a frostbite when it's played from your arsenal, and Icelander will be able to play it as an instant from arsenal because it's blue, right? So obviously it's her specialization, so it makes sense it would have perfect synergy, but this just has amazing synergy. It says frostbites you control have at the beginning of your end phase, this deals 1 arcane damage to you, right? So they will have this X, your opponent, so their frostbites will say that. So every time you give them frostbite, it'll shoot them for 1 arcane when it's destroyed, right? Or at the beginning of their end phase, right? So if they keep it around till the beginning of their end phase, it'll deal damage. Basically, what this means is if they pop the frostbite beforehand, it won't hurt them. But if you're playing an ice reaction, or not ice reaction, or an ice card from your arsenal as a Icelander here, giving them a frostbite while they don't have any action points, then they will be taking damage. Because they can't use anything to pop those frostbites anymore, probably. So let's your frostbites, instead of taxing them, sometimes kind of shoot them, right? The nice thing here is that you can stack these cards, right? So if you give them 3 frost hexes, your frostbites will deal 3 to them, right? So let's say you give them 3 frost hexes, and then you play your Ice Eternal, which is where you pay XX to make X frostbites. So you could, play Ice Eternal, give them like 6 frostbites, and then shoot them for 18 damage off of your frostbites. So really nice card. The best thing is that there's such a low floor. There's such a high floor because it's an ice 3 block, 3 cost blue. Like there's nothing bad about this card. I don't see any reason to ever not run this. So for that reason, it's 5 stars. Makes sense that both of her specializations are 5 stars. I guess not makes sense because some heroes don't have the best specializations, but hers are amazing. Next, we have Hypothermia. So this is, once again, we'll look at all the stats here. So this is a majestic, so you can only have 3 in the deck. It's a blue, it's ice, so that's nice for Icelander, can play it from arsenal. It costs 0, also very nice for Icelander, so she doesn't have to pitch on the opponent's turn. And it is a 2 block, so that's the biggest downside here, is it is a 2 block. If it was a 3 block, this would definitely be an auto include just because it's a blue ice 3 block if it was a 3 block, but it's a 2 block, so we're gonna have to have some more reason to include this, right? So this is an affliction, so it's a second affliction here. It enters under opposing hero's control, right? Like all afflictions will, I assume. It says attacks you control can't gain go again. Then it says at the beginning of your end phase, destroy Hypothermia. So pretty solid effect here, right? There's a lot of cards like Blizzard that make your opponent pay to keep go again. But this just straight up shuts it down. So if your opponent's a chain and they shackle or they, play Artivore or do anything crazy, this is almost like an Arclight Sentinel. You're just shutting down all their go again from their turn. There's no way for them to interact with this as far as we know right now. So they're just kind of getting hosed by this card. You can deal a ton of damage, if they just lose go again, they were planning on doing it, and they have to keep their hand and pass back to you. You could just have this be your only play, keep all 4 cards in your hand, and deal a ton of damage back. So this card's really good. Obviously, against some decks, it will not be as good, right? Against Guardians, who maybe just want to do 1 big attack, this won't do anything. There's a lot of heroes where they might not care about go again as much. I think go again in general is really important, but this only does go again on attacks, so that does cut off some of its, benefit. Some heroes just want to do some non-attacks and then 1 attack. There's definitely some downsides to this card, and it's not going to work always. So I think this card will be sideboarded out sometimes. I think it'll be in for the majority of matchups, but I'm going to give it 4 stars just because 1, it's a 2-block, and 2, it doesn't always work against every matchup. Next, we have Cold Snap. This is very reminiscent of the Polar Blast, Electrify, and So Tomorrow cycle from Tales of Aria. They are actions. They block for 2, and they draw a card when played from Arsenal. So they also cost 1. So basically, same cycle. I'm guessing we're going to have another card that's Draconic. That's going to have the other side of this tree here, I guess, right? We've got the fiery side. I'm guessing we're going to have a 1-cost Draconic action that's going to say when played from Arsenal. Anyways, a few nice things about this card. This is a common, so there will be the full cycle of blue, yellow, and red. The difference will be how much the opposing hero has to pay, so 1 resource, 2 resources, or 3 resources. The downside, the upside is it's an ice blue, right? So Icelander can play from Arsenal. The downside is that the effect's not great. So for 1 resource, it only blocks for 2. That's a downside. Target hero may pay 1 resource. If they don't, freeze a card in their arsenal or an ally they control until the start of your next turn. So, it's not that hard to pay 1 resource, right? Paying 3 resources is maybe a little harder, but freezing is not the strongest mechanic just because it's only for 1 turn, right? And a lot of decks are okay not playing their arsenal card for a single turn. Maybe the ally part will hurt some decks, but really in general, this might be as a sideboard card against some ally decks if there becomes some really big allies and you need to make them pay a bunch of resources, but they can still pay for it, right? So I'm just not convinced the top effect's ever going to be super relevant. I think the bottom effects are obviously fine. It's go again, and if it's played from Arsenal, draw a card. That's a great effect. But I've never been really impressed with the other cycle anyways, like the Polar Blast or the So Tomorrow. They're fine. Electrify was okay in like Briar for a while, but none of those cards have been cornerstones of any deck. They've seen some play here and there, but just doesn't seem to be the best spot to be. You're giving your opponent agency and letting them pay, so don't love it. I'm going to give it just 1 star. I don't think this effect's good enough. I'm not impressed with freeze so far. Well, I think I said this in my last video. The only thing I think freezing will be good on is weapons. Outside of that, it doesn't seem to be that strong of an effect. Maybe hero abilities is okay too. And now we have our first Draconic card, right? So very beautiful border. Love that. This is Majestic, so I only can run 3 of it. It is a Draconic attack action here. It costs 2 resources, and it's a red, right? So this is an aggressive card. You're not going to be able to pitch it efficiently. It's pretty expensive, so this is going to be in a very aggressive deck normally. Or maybe not an aggressive deck. Maybe it's just going to be a big power card in some decks. But let's get to the effect, because the effect's pretty important here. It attacks for 6 and blocks for 2. So fine rate, 2 for 6. That's, the standard rate, Command and Conquer, all that stuff. 2 block, not great. So don't love that on a red card. You want your red cards to 3 block because they're going to not always be pitchable, right? So red cards are sometimes okay if they can 3 block, because then they can at least still do something efficiently. Its effect says, while Thaw is in your graveyard, at the start of your turn, you may banish it and choose 1. Destroy target Frostbite. Destroy target Ice Affliction. Unfreeze target frozen card. So the effect's good. I think the middle one is the only one I think is really worth it. A 2 for 6 by itself, basically this has no text when you play it, right? The text is when you banish it from your graveyard. So when you play it, it's basically just a 2 for 6. That's quite bad. It blocks for 2. That's quite bad. Destroying a Frostbite, I don't think is worth running a 2 for 6 in your deck. I'd rather just run an extra blue or something. I mean, I don't think destroying a Frostbite's that worth it. Unfreezing a frozen card maybe is worth it if you really needed that frozen card. Destroying Ice Affliction is definitely the best one. That's a 3 resource swing there, right? We saw her Affliction, not Hypothermia, but the other one that is her specialization, Icelander specialization, costs her 3 resources, right? So if you're destroying that, then this card is getting like 5 resources of value. So that's like a -1 cost for 6. That's like a Soul Reaping, right? So a middle effect is very worth it. Top and bottom effect I'm not convinced on. For those reasons, I think this is a sideboard card mostly. I'm going to give it 4 stars as a sideboard card against Icelander if she becomes popular. I want to say it's a 2, probably 2 stars if Icelander and the Ice decks aren't popular. I think they will be popular, so I'm going to give this card 4 stars because the middle effect is so good against Icelander. And because a 2 for 6, if you can maybe pump this, deal some damage, it's okay if it's destroying a frostbite or unfreezing a frozen card, right? That's like a 3, that's like a 1 for 6 step point, right? You're saying that destroying a frostbite is like 1 point of value, or maybe so it's unfreezing, so then it's a 1 for 6, right? That's good. And obviously the Ice Affliction, like I said, is amazing. So it's a 4 as a sideboard card. Obviously, against anything that's not Ice deck, you're not playing this. So it has to be worth it. Ice decks have to be popular enough for this card to be worth the value. I just happen to think it is. So that's the cards we have so far. Once again, hopefully going to sort out the tier list soon. Oh, actually, we have one card. Surprise. We have the token. I needed to mention this one. I think I threw you off there. Probably not. So we have the token. This is Dracona Optimi. This is a Draconic Illusionist Dragon ally, right? So as you can see, no mana cost. It's an ally. As far as we know, there's no. I mean, we haven't seen the ability to play allies yet. You have to get them through another card like Eclipse or Doomsday. So this is going to be the ally token. This is one of a cycle of 3. We think they did tease that there's going to be 3 big dragons. There's probably more, but there's probably 3 big majestic ones. This one is an illusionist one, right? I'm sure they're all going to be illusionist ones for the most part. She's going to be making these big dragons, right? I can't really rate this card because I don't know how you obtain it. We don't know how you get this token. I can talk about a few things. One, it's a 6/6, so that stays in line with the Ursers and stuff we've seen so far. That's a really powerful. 6 is hard to kill. 6 damage is a lot, right? We don't know how it can get go again, so I'm assuming her weapon or some other way. Maybe she's going to have a Dragonaris, a draconic version of Luminaris. So hopefully it can get go again efficiently. If it can get go again efficiently and it's easy to get, it's like an amazing card, right? It says when it attacks a hero, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. He deals arcane damage equal to twice the number of red cards revealed this way to them or an ally. So he can be... Oh, Cat's so mad. Okay, Cat, come tell us what you think of the card. Yeah, come here. Okay, everyone. The cat thinks Dracona Optimi is a very good card. It could deal 6 arcane damage if you reveal 3 reds, right? Very good. I think it's going to be telling us that the Illusionist is a red-based hero, right? So we have Prism as a yellow strip-based hero, right? All her cards are based on you having yellow color strips. I think this is telling us that Draconic is going to be a red color stripped-based class, right? This is talking about your red cards revealed, kind of the opposite to the ice in this set, which is blue cards mostly, right? Icelander looks at blue color strips, it's ice. This is a fire kind of class, so we're looking at red color strips. It's a pretty easy extrapolation to make. If this card is easy to come out, I'm going to give it 5 stars, right? I'm calling this one, I have very little information, 5-star card. You're going to be playing whatever gets this card on the board. Whatever you can play to put this on your board, you're going to be playing it. 5 stars for whatever card gets this on the board. Token's very strong. Really early call. I'm probably going to be wrong on this one, but yeah, I just think this card's beautiful. I'm excited to see the new cards. And yeah, remember to like, subscribe, comment, tell me how cute the cat is, and tell him to stop bothering me in the videos. He's ruining the content in the Dracona Optimi. He kind of looked like them, right? Let's be honest. Okay, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you next time.